Are we gonna see? Are we gonna see a Rayquaza?
Oh my god!
Taking out a fairy type.
Dude, this is nuts.
With
What
the
am I
ancient
watching
power.
right now?
Oh my days.
It makes you want to Rayquaza for Great League even more. Welcome in, everyone. We are here with the Asia Pacific Championships, and it's going to be a kind of maybe a weekly series going down the road. But if you're new here, my name is Peng. I'm one of your commentators, and I'm joined by my good friend AnicorXIII. How you doing? Tell us all about the Asia Pacific Championships.
I'm doing well, Caleb, and I'm glad you asked because honestly, this is something that I'm very excited about. So it's a project that's been in place since just after the World Championships this year, and it sort of stems from the Asia qualifiers over the last year, and also the fact that we didn't really know too much about the Asian players in the first championship series. I felt like there should be a place where the Asian battlers can get practice in the championship series format, but then also, you know, be able to showcase their skills and stuff. And as a result, we have the very first season of the Asia Pacific Championships that started at the beginning of this GBL season. And we have leagues for Japan, Oceania, India, Indonesia, and then also APAC. APAC being just a combination of all the countries that didn't quite have enough active players to make their own league, but still had, you know, a lot of active players that wanted to get involved.
The battles are played in the official championship series format. So show 6, bring 3, open team sheets now too. So really mirroring the official format and giving these players kind of a way to showcase their skills and get some practice in before maybe their official qualification tournament for their region. So
what we'll be seeing today is we'll be seeing matches from the Division 1 brackets.
Okay.
So, you know, the best players within those particular regions.
With that said, let's get into the first set of battles. And this looks like it's going to be Innocent 2481 versus Tetsuo 106. And this is going to be game number 1. This is going to be from Innocent's POV. So just keep that in mind as we go into it. And a little heads up too, if you haven't noticed, I'm doing some commentary, I'm doing some production on the side at the same time too. So if it's not the cleanest of transitions, my apologies on that one. But you know, small budget. When I say small budget, no budget production on this end. We're doing our best.
No budget at all.
Yeah, let's get into this first set of battles. It is going to be Innocent leading the Lickitung into Tetsuo's Lickitung as well. So a little Lickitung mirror matchup, and we do see the Venusaur and the Charjabug in the back.
Mm-hmm. I think the Lickitung lead is always a very interesting pick because it gives players an opportunity to go for switch and go for hard alignment. So it really, you know, forces the players to make a decision right at the beginning which direction they want to take the game.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like I don't think we've seen who wins charge attack priority yet. So we'll have to wait and see on that one too, because that could definitely dictate how this specific matchup goes. Looking at the backline, we have the Venusaur and Charjabug for the side of Innocent. We don't know the backline of Tetsuo yet. Kind of, you have neutral play into Lickitung in the entire line of Innocent, actually.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's very true. Even that Charjabug itself, right? You know, the hardest answer for it being the Whiscash. Still not too bad, you know. If you have a bit of energy advantage and shield advantage, you can do some decent damage to it. So, in fact, the Charjabug probably not wanting to see the Lickitung. So, you know, Innocent really happy to see it in this position.
Yeah, and so we're gonna see. It looks like neither players are really willing to send a shield, and it looks like Tetsuo's Lickitung is gonna win that charge attack priority. This is going to be close. I don't know if it knocks out or not, but the responding buys him definitely won't. It does knock out, so this is pretty big. And looks like Innocent is going to go for an aggressive farm down. In comes the Charjabug, though. Definitely one of the counters to Venusaur. Only having Innocent having their own Charjabug in the back makes this kind of a weirder matchup.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel the Charger Bug is relatively unresisted on Tetsuo's side as well, so it seems like a very safe swap. Interesting Innocent staying in here, but potentially feeling that, you know, there's a better answer to the Venusaur in the back, which is why he felt comfortable doing that safe swap. So, you know, maybe just leaving everything to the Charger Bug.
Yeah, I mean, I think thinking about it, what could be in the back, right? Is it, you know, the Mandibuzz potentially? I think at the same time, too, if you have the Whiscash in back, I think Innocence make the prediction that Tetsuo wouldn't swap out,
yeah.
right? Yeah, you just want the alignment there. So I think that's a really good read by Innocent. But this is the exciting part. We only got one POV here, so we could really, we really don't know what's in the backside for Tetsuo. So we're kind of playing it, trying to read into what Innocent's thought process is here, and also Tetsuo's as well, right? Because Tetsuo's the one that pivoted out.
I'm wondering if Innocent. Okay, well, he's not going for a complete farm down now, but amazing alignment here. Like, you know, 2 discharges loaded on the Charger Bug and a Mandibuzz in the back is looking really difficult for Innocent here. For Tetsuo, sorry.
Yeah, definitely. One thing you could definitely benefit off as Tetsuo is you could optimize a little bit easier into the Charge Bug, where Charge Bug is kind of a really awkward optimization 4-turn into 3-turn. Yeah, is still in a pretty commanding position. There's a decent amount of health left on that Lickitung. I'm pretty sure it's completely energy dry though, because it kind of threw at Charge Attack priority at the end in that Lickitung mirror. And that looked like Charge Attack priority as well, so getting off back-to-back discharge is huge. Everything is on the backs of this Charge Bug now, though, for Innocent.
Now, that's very good awareness, because like you said, you know, the timing moves with this 4-turn fast move is a bit awkward. So you really do need to identify when you have to throw on bad timing just to, you know, prevent your opponent from throwing them. So that was pretty good awareness on Innocent's side.
Yeah, and actually a huge sweep really from the Charge Bug, taking out all 3 remaining Pokemon for Tetsuo, but really great read from Innocent to expect that there's double counters to Venusaur in the back, right, with the Charge Bug and the Mandibuzz in the back. So Innocent is going to take game number 1 here, and that's going to be pretty big going into it. So explain the score real quick as well for those at home too. What's the benefit of you know, kind of having these early scores for potential tiebreakers or stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, since it's structured as a round robin, you know, every point you get throughout the course of the season could potentially help you towards the end of the season. So you know, again, if some of the viewers have seen maybe, for example, the Premier League, as you get towards the end of the season, you may have certain teams which are, you know, equal on number of wins, and in that case, the number of match wins, and in that case, the, you know, goal difference gets taken into account. A similar situation here, where, you know, if 2 players are tied on match wins throughout the season, then their actual game wins may come into play in that case. And this is relevant mainly because there are, so for Japan particularly, there are 8 spots to qualify for the Champions Tournament at the end of the season. The allocated spots are usually dependent on how many players from a particular region compete. So Japan having the most players competing throughout all divisions, they were given 8 qualification spots. But yeah, if you're that 9th player, then you know, if you're like, you know, tied 8th and 9th, then you know, the amount of games you won throughout the season is really going to, you know, differentiate you between that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's really cool. I mean, so obviously the points do matter quite a bit too, as these players are competing. So we're going to get into game number 2. Great explanation from AnicorXIII. And we get a fantastic lead for Innocent. Venusaur into Whiscash. That's your worst nightmare.
What?
You got to expect probably the Mandibuzz in the back again, right, for Tetsuo?
Yeah. But this is a bit of an awkward position for Innocent, because he doesn't really have a proper check to that Charger Bug. Obviously, there's the Dragonite, but I was going to say, with an energy advantage, you know, the Charger Bug is quite comfortable into the Dragonite, whereas now, this seems like a really good move from Innocent, taking the Xizar and then coming into the Dragonite, giving it a bit more of an opportunity to secure this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, especially with shields up too, even the Vine will start doing quite a bit into the Whiscash. But we see a shield coming out for both Tetsuo and Innocent. And so Tetsuo really wants alignment here. I mean, maybe even expecting a charge buck in the back end. But this is the thing with Dragon. Oh, going to let this go. So giving up alignment. It's going to be interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, ends up being
it
ends up being an X-Scissor, but doesn't get the move off either way. Yeah, that was pretty wild. Almost got Dragon Breath down or getting the Dragon Call too. So a little bit short there, but getting an extra Volt Switch out for Tetsuo.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's an insane trust on your Pokemon if you know you can make that Dragon Claw. But you know what? Innocent going for a Volt Switch down. And again, obviously the Whiscash being the hardest check to this Charger Bug on Tetsuo's team, but with a bit of energy advantage, it's not as bad.
Yeah, I'm actually curious about that too, because I feel like Innocent's gameplay potentially could be trying to go for a sweep with the Charger Bug, but actually it's a Lickets on the back, not the Mana Buzz. So this Venusaur actually has a ton of play still into Tetsuo's team, especially given how much energy it has. It's a non-Shadow Venusaur though, so you need more than 2 Frenzy Plants to knock this out. Maybe the Vine Whip afterward, but 2 Frenzy Plants just not enough by itself.
Yeah. I mean, this could potentially set Innocent up for a bit of a Volt Switch down, giving him a bit more of an advantage against the Whiscash. So this is a tricky situation for Tetsuo because, you know, you don't really want to give this Charge Bug any more energy, but then at the same time, you know, you don't want your Whiscash to be seeing Venusaur at all.
Yeah, and Innocent has a ton of energy on this Charger Bug. And this is a good thing about Charger Bug compared to like the more other common electric type Lantern. You have a lot more play, in my opinion, because you're not taking super effective from Mud Bomb or Scald or any of the moves from Whiscash. Yes, they're resisting your Volt Switch, but you're still doing neutral back from X-Scissor, and so you have a fighting chance. Whereas Lantern, especially the Spark Lantern, you just really have no chance unless you have just like a massive shield advantage and health advantage.
Right. But I mean, I think this might be a bit too much for the the Charger Bug to overcome. You know, the play for Switch in the mid game being the really pivotal part there. You know, and I think it was interesting that Innocent decided to let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, with such a dominant lead, you can expect something to be you know, strong against your Venusaur on the back, but
that's right.
Yeah, that was,
but well played from Tetsuo too. So evening up the series 1-1 apiece, and going into this game number 3 to decide who takes it all the way here in this first set of battles in the Japan region, and it's going to be Lickitung into Mandibles. That's pretty awkward.
That's not looking good.
Really, only to Charge Bug, which is like the main counter to Mandibles. Dragonite only plays kind of neutral into Mana Buzz, so this is looking very good for Tetsuo so far. Tetsuo doesn't even really need Switch advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is looking really difficult for Innocent. You know, Tetsuo can take Switch advantage if he really wants to, because, again, Innocent's going to have to really invest some shields if they want to take this matchup. So, not looking great at the moment, but like you said, the Dragonite might have some play, and you know, potentially if you're able to strip some shields from the opponent, it can put in a bit of work.
Yeah, I think Tetsuo feels pretty comfortable, maybe not even going for Switch. Does throw the Body Slam right before the X's are out. This is the tricky part for Innocent, right? If you shield, and I can understand why Innocent doesn't want to shield, because you don't have too much play with Dragonite into Mana Buzz down a shield as well, right? So you kind of just want to maybe hope to grab Tetsuo's shield. That's actually what Innocent really wants. Tetsuo does shield though, so this gives Innocent a fighting chance. I don't know if you go for a lick down. That's going to be a super aggressive lick down, but maybe try to get almost 100.
I mean, I feel like, yeah. The thing is if it's going to be the Mandibuzz coming back onto that Lickitung, then, you know, getting the energy is probably more useful. But going for an energy advantage on the Dragonite instead, so...
I like this play too, because Tetsuo didn't even get a Body Slam off, right? And expecting the bad matchup in the back end, either a Azumarill or a Charger Bug ends up being the Charger Bug. Having this extra energy lead makes it a little bit more palatable, and this Lickitung versus Mandibuzz matchup is not as bad as it seems, especially up 2 shields. I
mean, yeah, with a shield advantage, it's actually not that bad, you know, because you know, they're both super bulky. The body slams do put in some work, so This is going to be an interesting one.
Oh, and banking the move and catching what potentially probably could be an X-Scissor on the Lickitung is huge too. Having all the extra energy is nice. I mean, it ends up being an X-Scissor, so still throwing the more energy efficient move. I think Tetsuo maybe going to try to leave with the X-Scissor and then swap. Yeah, that's going to be what's happening. And now comes Mana Buzz. But the thing is, if you bank a move on Charge Bug, it is a little bit risky because Dragonite's going to win Charge Attack priority anyway, so that energy might go nowhere.
Yeah, I think this is this end game is really coming down, you know, really close, really down to the wire. Because again, also the you know, the timers are misaligned, so Innocent does have the opportunity to come back in with that Dragonite. You know, Tetsuo may be thinking that they need to load up on energy before throwing any moves, just to make sure that Dragonite doesn't get too much advantage on their Mandibuzz. So, and then also, you know, Innocent does still have that last shield, so really deciding where to use that is going to be super important.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing why Lickitung is just so strong these days, because even in its not so great matchups like Mandibuzz, like Umbreon, it has enough bulk to chip down quite a bit. And no shields on the side of Tetsuo is really scary in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, really putting it all on that that Charge Bug, I guess. But
yeah, here comes I
Innocent
believe
coming in with the combo play.
Yeah, the combo play, a big superpower too. The thing is, you might get Volt Switch down. No, the Dragon Breath is just chewing through this Charge Bug, and Charge Bug is going to get Dragon Breath down. I mean, especially with 4-turn moves, like that's so many Dragon Breaths in between before that energy is procced. And yeah, Innocent coming back from a really tough lead. Lickitung in the Mana Buzz.
A really bad lead.
Yeah.
Possibly the worst lead they could have faced. So
for Tetsuo's team, yeah, that's actually that's exactly as bad as it gets too. But able to come away with a win there too. So we get a 2-1 victory for Innocent over Tetsuo to kick things off in the Japan region. And yeah, Tetsuo did. The thing is, Tetsuo didn't even need to bring the Zoomer, I think, to check the Dragonite that one game that they ended up winning. And I think in game 2, if they didn't shield their Lickitung, I think that would have been probably Tetsuo's game. Innocent had to hope that Tetsuo would shield, kind of making them believe that, you know, switch advantage is more important. But at the end of the day, Innocent actually didn't need switch advantage because it just didn't have a great matchup in the back end either way. You just rely on that neutral play.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine that Tetsuo thinking like, well, you know, if Innocent is switching in their Charger Bug, then they must have something else to answer that Mandibuzz in the back, and you don't want it to be the Azumarill. So yeah, a very difficult call to make there, but yeah, very well played by Innocent, coming back from a terrible lead and you know, clutching out in that last game.
We have Azeyrox. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
I believe that's the way you pronounce it.
Azeyrox versus VroomVroomPow. The season was a season 4.
I want to say 4, but I don't know how many seasons there have been. So
yeah, I think it was season 4. Yeah, because Swedish Chief was season 2, and then we had Doombug season 3. Yeah, so season 4, world champion for Sylph is going to be going against Azeyrox, and this is going to be the India region. Now it's going to be Azeyrox's POV as well, so we're going to see kind of how this plays out. And getting into the first set of battles, it looks like it's going to be a fantastic lead for Azeyrox.
Really good lead.
qlLOEb
and staying in is really interesting here.
Yeah,
because
so
I mean,
it's on the backside. Trying to catch a move, but not actually quite able to do it.
Oh, this puts Vroom in a really difficult position because now this qlLOEb not only has a lot of energy, but Azeyrox isn't really weak to this Gligar at all. So
attack drop too.
You know, I mean, it's just like bad to worse, to be honest. You know, Azeyrox can literally throw in any mon that he wants here. To deal with that Gligar and, you know, leave with a good amount of energy on the qlLOEb. And I guess alignment at this point as well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Azeyrox could have even came in with the Altaria to kind of Dragon Breath down and have Sky Attack ready, but I think Vroom might have left with an Icy Wind, so you probably don't want to shield the Altaria afterward when you have that much energy. So it does get kind of weird. Instead, brings in the Lickitung, which I think is a good choice too. Might be closing in on the Power Whip. I mean, VroomVroomPow definitely can't farm too much here if he doesn't want to get hit with Power Whip. So it looks like going to throw potentially an Icy Wind, maybe even a Scald to take out the Lickitung before that Power Whip is reached. Oh, it's going to be the Scald, actually.
Okay, so it doesn't want to risk them even getting to a Body Slam.
No.
But now, I mean, the thing is the Lickitung in a one-on-one situation would be good against the Cresselia and the Altaria, but having to deal with both of them at the same time, with 2 shields up on both sides as well, it's a lot to ask.
Yeah, this is brutal too because you're going to come out with some energy, I think, on this Altaria. Maybe throw one move and farm down all the way. And really smart decision from Azeyrox to throw that Grass Knot because we talked about it like literally right before we started this battle. That matchup, Altaria versus Lickitung, is not that clean anymore, especially with that increased energy to Sky Attack requirements. But a little chip and dip action is pretty nice. And at the end of the day, too, you don't really even need Switch at this point. You can just cycle cut down this Lickitung, and that's going to be a terrible time for that Poliwrath. The question is, can Poliwrath possibly muscle through the Cresselia with some lucky debuffs, maybe landing a Scald here or there at the right time?
I mean, it's difficult. Like we've seen it do that against, you know, some of its other harder checks like Azumarill, for example. But you know, with it being a Shadow Poliwrath, already having a bit of chip damage on it already, I don't know.
Force suspended.
But I mean, I guess this is Vroom's only option right now. So
yeah, and looks like and down a shield now too, which is a little unfortunate. What do you go for? Do you just go for Icy Wind because you expect the shield? Oh no, going for the harder hitting move, Scald. Okay. 2 shields up, but does get the attack drop. I think his hope was just maybe to Scald and like counter down. I don't know.
Go through the. I mean, it must have been going through the shield because I feel like Icy Wind is obviously a bit more consistent there. I don't know if you're ever living a Grass Knot though. And,
yeah. No, and it looks like VroomVroomPow maybe just hoping for the Scald. Does not land, so is going to concede, not even going to shield that final Grass Knot. Really tough alignment for VroomVroomPow in that first game. I guess the question is, would the catch have even mattered if you end up catching a move on the... I mean, it didn't matter because Azeyrox actually still threw the Moonboss anyway. There was no catch, but still threw it. And, you know, very unfortunate debuff too. Just really tough.
And I think even if it was like a Grass Knot, for example... you know, it still would have given Azeyrox the space to be able to farm back up again, still going to that Lickitung, and you're looking at pretty much the same situation. So that was pretty difficult. The thing is I see from, you know, from Vroom's perspective, a Poliwrath up energy can flip its bad matchup. So, you know, I don't dislike it too much. I feel like it was a good attempt. And even, for example, in the end game, if that Scald does go through both shields, there may be a scope to then counter down after that. So
it'd be ambitious counter down, but
I mean, I've seen crazier things from a Shadow Poliwrath. So
that's true.
you know, so yeah.
All right, well, let's get game number 2 underway. I'm expecting Altaria and Gligar in all 3 games, but we do get the Poliwrath mirror matchup here. And charge attack priority is going to be pretty key, but also how you plan to move. Oh, trying to catch a move, and looks like, I don't think it was a catch, but I think VroomVroomPow, content on just throwing the move first, maybe a little chip and dip first, is going to throw a Scald, and we do get the debuff too. Oh, this is pretty big because VroomVroomPow could build up to another move before swapping. Oh, and catches the resisted Grass Knot on the Charger Bug. I love this play too. He left with energy, and he came in with something that the Poliwrath still can't counter as well, and you catch a resisted Grass Knot. That's
and you saw Azeyrox waiting there, but still, you know, falling for the switch. And this is perfect for Vroom.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, maintain the advantage with the Poliwrath from the beginning, getting a comfortable match with the Charge Bug, and now even the Charge Bug against the Altaria, you know, is not necessarily a winning match from the Charge Bug, but you're doing neutral damage and you can get it very low. So now it's up to Azeyrox to decide, like, where does he want to use those shields.
Yeah, Charger Bug is so strong to the entire team of Azeyrox that they brought into this game. But honestly, even to the entire team of Azeyrox outside of that Galarian Stunfisk. And even though I think Galarian Stunfisk is a really great meta read, especially with this week's meta, the thing is, if you don't get it aligned with the Charger Bug, it doesn't really have a lot of places to go, right?
Yeah.
You got Gligar, you got Poliwrath on the same team. And it looks like VroomVroomPow going to get a move off first. It is going to be Ice Wind, a big no-shield from Azeyrox. But again, when you're running the non-shadow, I think you can afford some of this damage. So you could just tank a little bit better and go for the harder hitting Scald actually right now instead.
Yeah, I guess he's slightly behind in the mirror that you maybe that's your only option at the moment. Oh, and doesn't
Dragon
make-
Breath down. Oh, this is scary too. I mean, 2 shields up, like no one's spending a single shield this game is what I'm gathering here. And it looks like, yeah, the Dragon Breath does Dragon Breath on both sides, but just not enough health on the side of that Altaria. So the score is now 1-1. Really great response from VroomVroomPow in that game. I mean, kind of everything going really well for him, but also on top of that, he made some really great plays to kind of build himself in an even bigger league.
I like that team composition by Vroom as well, because I guess kind of similar to match 1, you know, thinking that my Poliwrath can beat all of its counters up energy, but I just have to sort of, you know, cover for, you know, something like the Altaria or the Cresselia in the back, and you know, covered for them both decently with the Gligar and
the Dragonair is a little bit different
Charjabug,
too. The Dragonair, I think maybe just going for the what do you call it? Maybe Dragon Breath down a Cresselia and Moonblast, right? Kind of a little bit ABA weak to Cresselia, but Cresselia, you know, with minimal fast attack pressure, it's not really that big of a deal. So, yeah, really great stuff. Let's see how both trainers are going to respond in game number 3. But it is all tied up. Going to game number 3, we have the Gligar. Actually, no Gligar in that previous game, but Vroom does bring it into game 3, into Lickitung. How does this matchup go if you're landing like every dig that you want to land?
I mean, it is generally a match that's in the Licktung's favor. I don't know if it's with the standard Gligar, only with the Shadow Gligar, where some breakpoints can decide, you know, and flip it in towards the Gligar's favor. But I feel like if you're in a neutral situation like this, it's usually looking good for the Lickitung. So potentially implying that there's something that would rather not deal with the Lickitung in the back, or maybe just thinking, you know what, this is probably going to be my best matchup for the Gligar. I may as well just get most of the use for it here, because again, you know that Altaria is going to be in the back, and I mean, we see the Cresselia here, and it has been coming and doing work in most of the other games. So maybe just where you want to see it here.
Yeah, we get a full lick down from Azeyrox, and in comes the Lickitung. Yeah, that was an interesting animation. I don't think VroomVroomPow was trying to swap out there. If not, that'd be kind of wild, because he's just locked into the Lickitung. But I don't think that's the case. Maybe just a little animation error. But does throw the Body Slam and then swaps out and brings out the Cresselia. So draws out the Cresselia. This is going to be
This is where it's kind of awkward, because again, there's no fast attack pressure, and both shields are already up, so you really need to land this Moonblast, and it's not easy to do through 2 shields.
I don't think so either, but VroomVroomPow, I feel like also is well positioned here, because you have the Lickitung in the back for that Cresselia, right? And so, and Azeyrox too, you don't really want to get completely licked down either, so I understand why the pivot. The question is, do you spend both shields? I like this play a lot. You spend both shields, Dragon Breath down. I mean, that's a lot of energy and health for the Lickitung to deal with. You just don't really want a debuff here. And yeah, not going to get the debuff. You have energy, so you can throw right before. Yeah, so you're going to throw right before another move is up. And I think Azeyrox can also combo play or swap out even. So even if this Altaria... Okay, so no, VroomVroomPow doesn't shield. I was going to say, even if he does decide to shield, it could be a different story. This is scary. You're taking a lot of Dragon Ball damage, and like, yes, you have 2 shields, but like, there's a full health Cresselia in the back. That's a really tough matchup.
This is very difficult. I think if it was anything but the Altaria, then 2 shields up Lickitung might, you know, be looking pretty good. But these Dragon Breaths are putting a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way it's looking out. It almost feels like a 0 shield scenario, because the Dragon Breath is doing so much damage.
Literally.
Yeah, this is looking really tough. I love the play though from Azeyrox there to protect that Altaria, so you get a lot of value in this matchup. Now, if you're Azeyrox, you should just go straight Grass Knot into VroomVroomPow's Lickitung. I mean, how many body slams do you need at this point? Like 10?
I mean,
it's a lot.
I think even in a worst case scenario, you know, he's gonna have to body slam the Lickitung as well. So there's going for the Moonblast here is interesting.
I think you see a guaranteed shield. Oh, no shield for VroomVroomPow.
Oh.
Maybe trying to call Grass Knot? I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, we're both doubting it. But Moonblast apparently is going to be doing quite a bit of work, actually, for Azeyrox. in this specific matchup. So yeah, kind of wild.
Wow.
And yeah, does get the full lick down. And yeah, 2-1 to Azeyrox. Huge plays, especially in that game 3. I feel like the first 2 games, well, game 2 I think VroomVroomPow played really well and had pretty decent alignment, but that game 3 was kind of hit or miss for, it could have been either person's game, but Azeyrox made some pretty crucial shield decisions. And it's tough for VroomVroomPow, right? Because what is he supposed to do in that situation? He's got to maybe grass knot bait the Altaria to maybe get off a 3rd attack against the Altaria to make something out of that.
And that's such a risky bait to make so early, or like, you know, so in the middle of the game, right? You know, in an end game scenario, maybe you can call that a bit better, but yeah, trying to make that kind of call right in the middle of the game is very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so Azeyrox is going to be taking the win here for VroomVroomPow, but these battles are all super close too, which is really awesome to see how they're taking place. We have APAC region coming up next, and it's going to be only GBL versus qlLOEb. What's the best way to pronounce this name?
I honestly should have asked because I don't know. I've been calling qlLOEb, but I imagine that might not be correct.
qlLOEb. Well, let's get into this first set of battles. Only GBL into qlLOEb as we know them right now. Sounds better now? Oh.
Yeah, maybe I'll get a correction sometime.
yeah. So it's going to be a Powder Snow Shadow Lone Sand Slash into Carping. This matchup is actually not that bad for Carping at all. But you need Rock Throw, right? I know you want to try a little tackle Carping, but I'm telling you, Rock Throw is the play, especially for this matchup. If you land 1 Rock Slide, most people let this first throw and go. You land 1 Rock Slide, you 2 shield, and you can farm down. But that's really if you want switch advantage. I don't know if you really need switch advantage. You can easily get a shield advantage, though. And you see OnlyGBL knows this matchup well, too, and is going to shield that Rock Slide. If you let this Rock Slide go, it changes the matchup quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine that, you know, qlLOEb has potentially a flyer in the back. So I guess investing in this matchup is probably not that bad, especially if your flyer is Gligar, because once you get rid of this, then, you know, it's looking pretty open. But
ooh, we see a pivot from OnlyGBL. I like this play a lot, right? Having double polygraph counters as expected. Going for the X Scissor. This would be a massive no shield if qlLOEb goes for it. We'll see though. qlLOEb is up a shield. OnlyGBL needs to get some advantage. Does get the shield up. And this is very curious too. Maybe going to throw a Scald and Dip. I'm trying to think what could be potentially in the back. Might be the Lantern, possibly. Want to weaken this down a little bit.
But then do you not... The whole team would lose to 1 Serperior. There's got to be some Serperior counter in the back.
That's a good point too. Maybe that's the case. Could be. Wow. Okay,
and
so
I mean, staying in here
one
potentially implies that it's the Mandibuzz.
Maybe a Mandibuzz, and we saw ABA weak to this Powder Snow Lone Sand Slash. Really good pivot from OnlyGBL as well to get out there, expecting kind of something that this thing would be good into. Otherwise, qlLOEb wouldn't have stayed in with the Carbink.
Right.
Closing on 2 back-to-back Ice Punch, though. That's going to do quite a bit of damage. And doesn't OnlyGBL still have a shield remaining, too?
Yeah. I mean, it's looking like OnlyGBL can potentially even go for just not revealing the Gligar at all. But chooses to let it
well, there's so much for that plan. But I think that makes sense, too, because Gligar...
It's the safer player, I guess.
Especially with, what do you call it, aerial ace as well too. It's going to do some chip damage, but it's going to be enough in my opinion. I like this no shield too, right? You want to save it for potentially an icy wind from the side of that Poliwrath. And Gligar might not hit very hard, but that is bulky, dude. Tanking Dark Pulse, no problem.
Yeah. And I mean, Gligar not normally wanting to be in this matchup usually, but with that much of a health disadvantage.
Yeah.
And a shield on the side of OnlyGBL is looking pretty good here.
Yeah, my apologies. I put in the score a little too early, but it looked over at that point too. So
I mean, you can't blame you. I think, I think, like you said, from time that OnlyGBL, performed that pivot in the beginning, it was looking pretty difficult, especially when qlLOEb was staying in with the Poliwrath. You don't want to stay in with a Shadow Poliwrath, particularly against a Charger Bug. So, really implying that the Charger Bug was core breaking in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna see if the qlOEb can find a way around this too. I mean, that Alolan Sandslash does look very safe into the whole team of qlOEb outside of that Poliwrath, so might bring it again, or maybe just play some mind games and bring like triple counters to the Poliwrath. That could be another potential play too. But I don't know. That Carbink was interesting. I mean, you had the Charge Bug in the back, so obviously only GBL did not want to see that matchup. And then what was the third point? Gligar. Yeah, so Gligar kind of APA strong into the Carbink in a way. But yeah, we're going to see if qlOEb decides to bring it into game number 2. But we're going to get into game number 2 here, only GBL versus qlOEb. And looks like qlOEb's still trying to decide which Pokemon to bring. But, well, I don't know. Would you bring the Carbink back again?
I mean, well,
ooh, that's a good lead.
We see Gligar on the field, and a really good call by qlOEb. I think whether you bring the Carbink back again, I'm not sure. I still do think it has neutral play into the majority of the, you know, the ones that only GBL has been bringing, but obviously that Serperior makes things a bit different.
Yeah, and this Gligar is staying in. I mean, it'd be kind of wild if qlOEb's running ABA Flyers, especially because Alolan Sandslash were such a nuisance in that first game. But I wonder what qlOEb's plan is, because right now just staying in this matchup, not even swapping out. Which would imply,
I mean, potentially implying that they're weak to the Gligar. So, you know, maybe thinking that the Poliwrath, once that's got out of the way. Oh,
okay. Well, here comes
I guess it was the Carbink.
Yeah, I mean, I like this chip and dip as well, too, because you come in with the Carbink, you rock throw down. Like, even if only GBL tries to pivot, there's just not too much you get out of this pivot because your health is so low at this point, too.
Right.
It doesn't even get to that final dig, so going for the aerial ace, I doubt qlOEb shields, but if qlOEb is off by one wing attack on count, it might happen. No, it does not happen yet. So qlOEb, on top of their counts, too, this damage is actually still pretty meaningful against the entire back line, even though you have kind of 2 Carbink counters in the back. Carbink can still hit quite hard, and there's really no energy on the Superior as well to deal with it.
Yeah, but I feel like this does give the Serperior the opportunity to get a really big farm. You know, and that energy is going to be useful even into the Gligar. So this now makes it a bit tricky. I don't remember if exactly the Gligar was in, you know, Aerial Ace range, but definitely in Frenzy Plant range for sure.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Carbink is tough to use in many respects because it sims well. But at the same time, going for the aerial is big, though. I mean, up 2 shields, I can see why OnlyGBL did this last game, too, right? Throwing the X-Scissor into the Poliwrath and getting the shields. So this is super tricky. I think we're going to see a Poliwrath, because you have to have you have to have Alolan Sandslash counters in the back, right? And this is going to be a best one, too. So my thought was maybe OnlyGBL tries to muscle through that Gligar matchup, because once you get a locked into this Poliwrath, it's over, right? I mean, or you have to throw a move. I don't even know who.
And good discipline, not throwing the move, or at least, you know, waiting to see that Vine Whip and you know, preventing the catch, because I think that could have made things a bit more tricky.
Yeah, definitely. And now you're debuffed, and you're taking a decent amount of counter damage. I mean, they might still get to another. No, they don't get to another Icy Wind. Back-to-back Frenzy Plant. I think the Gligar has some energy, though, and this looks like it's Charge Attack priority.
Yeah. So, looking like an easy shield and then Aerial Ace KO.
Yeah.
So
that was close, though. OnlyGBL definitely made it close. One Frenzy Plant away from potentially knocking out qlOEb's Gligar. But, you know, looking at that team composition, too, you got what do you call it? Gligar in the lead for qlOEb. You've got to have a Poliwrath in the back, right? Because this is your most reliable counter, and then kind of a soft check. That soft check would being that Carbink too. So it's a tough spot, right? I think maybe the only chance if OnlyGBL takes out the Gligar, but in that situation, like Gligar potentially shields and takes out your Superior, and then you pretty much still lose that Poliwrath in the back. So again, score even 1-1 in this series. Let's go into game number 3 and see how it's gonna look. We got Clunk.
I don't think this was on purpose that we've had game 3s every single time. I think this is just how close all these games have really been. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Now this is interesting.
Catching the aerial ace though on their own Gligar. I mean, that's nice. That's really bold too, because there's a Alolan Sandslash in the back. I mean, maybe there's a Mana Buzz, but this is gonna be an ugly farm down.
I mean, do you get to a dig at least to threaten a shield?
Oh, and no
Oh,
shields.
no shielding.
Wait, I like this too. I think you survived the dig, right? It's non-shadow. Yeah, you do.
Oh.
Can you get the full powder stone down? Oh, you do.
Oh my days.
1 HP. No, honestly, that
Oh
aerial ace
my
catch
days.
helped set it up, right? Because if you didn't
Yeah.
catch the aerial ace, you would have had a lot more health to wing attack down. No, that's a huge play. And dude, qlOEb's waiting on the switch time, right? Because you know that minute's not up, right? So the moment only GBL could lock that Poliwrath into the Gligar right away, right? Oh, actually, don't choose to lock
going
it with
for
the
the-
Charger Bug instead. Interesting.
Okay. I like that play, to be honest, because do I like that play?
I don't know what could be in the back at this point. I mean, this is interesting, right? It could be a little risky at the same time, but at the same time, Gligar's pretty safe into this team with qlOEb, so I like that play because if you come in Gligar, you kind of have to shield the Icy Wind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Poliwrath can flip that situation up energy. Again, like Medicham last season, so it does get a bit tricky. But I mean, here's okay. I guess the timer isn't up, but potentially implying that there's a Mandibuzz in the back, and there we see the Mandibuzz.
This is interesting too. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about this. Mandibuzz is probably one of the best checks for Gligar in neutral matchups, right? No water moves, no ice moves. But it's just
down
so
2
bulky,
shields.
right? Down 2 shields is it's a kind of a tall.
It's a bit harder, yeah.
Yeah, it is a little bit tough.
And
no
just
shield
letting the
again.
aerial ace go.
Well, yeah, expecting the potential bait and set Dark Pole. That's a huge savage.
What a
no
soul
shield.
read. It's insane.
Yeah, definitely. But
Honestly, because you know what? If that was the Dark Pulse,
you still
honestly,
survive.
it would be a bit difficult. I guess, yeah, you survive, I guess, but you know,
the
is it
snarl
enough
adds
for a
up.
snarl down?
Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna.
But then again, I guess you've got that Charger Bug, which at this point can potentially farm down as well. So
It
without the snarls adding up
could.
too much.
I think it depends on the health range of the Mandibuzz, because you're gonna take a decent amount of snarl damage in the process. Oh, and here comes the Charger Bug. What's the play here? Do you bring the Poliwrath? I like this because you're gonna force the energy. Wait, this is actually pretty big. I don't know if this actually makes a difference or not, or OnlyGBL still takes it. But you might get the snarl damage through before the bolster damage registers, and that way, yeah, you get a free snarl. No damage taken.
But he still has 1 shield.
Ooh. qlOEb didn't optimize though. I think you got it.
Yeah, I feel like the optimization was necessary.
Unless you already had the
Unless he has
back-to-back.
two
Yeah,
moves.
unless you have the back-to-back. Does he have the back-to-back?
No, he didn't have the backs back. Oh, and that
tough.
might have cost him, that might have cost.
Yeah, we don't have the POV of qlOEb, but
Yeah, and wasn't really
that could be
counting energy,
interesting.
but
I wasn't either. Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, so OnlyGBL
Very close
does
game
take
3
that.
though.
Super close. Super
Yeah.
close game 3. Very interesting team.
And especially after getting your Gligar locked into an A slash.
Yeah.
That was and also the thing is OnlyGBL really played that A slash into Gligar perfectly, minimizing the farm that the Poliwrath would get, was still leaving with a move.
That no shield was
and yet
super
still
nice.
it came right down to the wire. So yeah.
And in our next set of battles, we got AgentMagikarp versus a familiar name, AnicorXIII.
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
That guy, yeah. I
AnicorXIII
recognize
the
him.
8th, as they say.
Yeah.
What happened to the other seven
yeah, and
Anicors?
interestingly enough, so this Anicore player, I know that he played at. So when I played at the Sydney Regionals, I got knocked out by AgentMagikarp, who ended up winning the entire regionals. So Poison Sting gives you better fast move pressure into certain, most flyers. So, Altaria, Pelipper, Mantine. Also into Trevenant, like you may be able to get into a situation where you might need to fast move down and it's a bit more comfortable with the Poison Sting. And then also the Azumarill, like you're not necessarily winning the Azumarill matchup, but if you have chipped it a bit more, the Poison Stings may be able to put in a bit of work.
Most definitely. Yeah, you're doing resisted Gligar either way, right? So,
Yeah,
so it's not the best lead for you, Altaria into the Trevenant. But honestly, Altaria looks super strong into your entire team if it's not on the
Yeah.
You're going straight for the Shadow Ball. I like it. Azumarill's pretty, Altaria's pretty bulky, so they might potentially no shield this. Looks like AgentMagikarp is going to shield though.
Yeah, and on getting that shield, I felt pretty comfortable to come in with the qlOEb because now I have a bit of space, right? They've come in with the G-Fisk, and I guess I can decide which way. Yeah, so I mean, but that said, I feel like unless they had the Poliwrath, there's nothing really too comfortable to swap into the or the Poliwrath or the Azu, I guess. There's nothing too comfortable to swap into the qlOEb. So this kind of implying that they don't have either.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to overfarm a little too much. I got charged that priority. I was like, getting a little greedy. I mean, he wasn't that slow on the swap in.
Well, no, this is the thing. It was a rock slide. Okay, so I was expecting a... you know, to go up towards the earthquake. And,
that's actually really smart.
Slide, but it was smart
by him. Yeah, I wasn't counting the entry there too, but he was expecting you to throw it before then, right? So he just wants some chip damage, which is also very smart, just because he can now. Oh, this is a good scenario for you. You are also. I mean, so you're up a shield, but where's this Trevenant gonna go at this point in time? Right? Like, I guess your best matchup for Trevenant is actually probably into the Altaria here, but. I don't know. Would you throw a Rock Slide and dip and try to Shadow Claw down, maybe? I don't know. What's
yeah, I mean, yeah, this is pretty much what I'm thinking. I'm just like, well, I have to use the Trevenant somewhere.
Yeah.
So I decided to use it here, but I think here is where, so you know, AgentMagikarp, aware of my energy, and this is the decision I think that I need to make. The shield there might have been useful, but my worry there was that if I shield and throw the Shadow Ball, then I give the Lickitung a bit more farm. But then afterwards I was like, but then I could have not thrown the Shadow Ball straight away and just wait for a bit more Dragon Breath damage and then throw it right on like 1 HP.
Yes, yeah. But
which
then
would have been a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, he was trying to catch a potential Rock Slide, but good patience on your end to not throw. He needs 2 body steps to take you out. This is a little dicey because you not only need to throw like 2, maybe 3 more body steps, but you need to have Rock Slide ready, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it might be in body slam range, the Altaria, but yeah, I mean, this is looking like a Dragon Breath will just take me out if the Altaria comes in anyway.
So it looks like an L for our fellow co-casters. It
looks like an L for the... Pretty much, yeah.
You got a disrespectful Lickitung lick down against the Vigoroth. Yeah. AgentMagikarp is going to go up 1-0. I will say, too, that back-end matchup, I think, regardless of how you played out that Trevenant matchup, I think your ideal play is what you said, right? Wait till they overfarm you a bit, and then throw at the last second so he doesn't get anything. So you can take out the Altaria, and you don't have to... Because that way you don't have to tank any of that damage from the Dragon Breath.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also, I mean, you still have to throw a Rock Slide at the Altaria anyway. Yeah. But again, that still would have been tough. In hindsight, it makes a lot of sense though. So we're trying to lock in game number 2 here, and here we go. It is going to be your Clodsire into Shadow Poliwrath. This is not a great matchup, but also
this is not a good matchup at all.
Your APA kind of weak to this Poliwrath at this point in time.
Yeah. And honestly, this is like... I mean, I don't really have any other option, right? So, you know, I did notice that he was very weak to the Azumarill in the last game. So I was like, okay, I'm going to bring Azumarill in this game. But yeah, I had no other option here but to stay in because, you know, if I switch out, like, you know, I switch out into the Azumarill, he goes for a debuff and then... yeah. So taking that shield, I thought was not looking good. Yeah. this is true. Yeah. But I think getting that shield was a bit more positive. You know, I was deciding whether I should shield here and go for another move, but I thought, you know what, I just need to commit because here again, I've got a shield advantage. If he does swap out of this matchup, then I can maybe play towards knocking the Poliwrath out in the end game with some energy on the Vigoroth. So. Yeah.
I think it's probably, if I were to guess, it's probably the Altaria in the back if he hasn't swapped out yet.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm thinking the same. Yeah.
So that's terrible. Although Vigoroth's not going to love that. We don't even know his 3rd yet, but my guess is he's probably at least, I guess, APA weight to Azumarill, which is also kind of nuts too. But
yeah.
Muscle too, Okay, and here comes Altaria. So
And there's the Altaria.
this is actually not look too bad for you. I mean, especially up a shields. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked if he shields this rock side because he really needs to take out this Vigoroth somehow. Oh, he doesn't shield. Okay.
Yeah. As soon as the no shield comes, I'm thinking, well, now I can just go for counters and body slam, so I can really maximize this this matchup here.
Yeah, definitely. Sky attacks can come through. I mean, it makes sense for you to shield. There's really no reason for you not to shield.
Yeah, and you know, obviously, Lickitung into Azumarill, not exactly a comfortable matchup, but with some advantage, you know, with some teamwork, it's not really too much of an issue. So, and yeah, shielding the Altaria there was a bit difficult, but I guess you don't really have too much other play because you can't lick down this Vigoroth. So, it's a bit of a difficult situation.
Yeah. All right. So one ABA weak team to another ABA weak team, but I think your ABA might come out on top. I mean, this is a really good shield too because you get a lot of super effective counter damage through. You get maybe both body slams off. You have to definitely get one off. I guess it depends on how greedy AgentMagikarp is because I'm pretty sure he gets a body slam before he gets to the second one. That being said, it's definitely not over yet. The problem is the Azumarill is so bulky. Oh, try to go for the catch. And did you get it? Is the real
successful
question. Yeah, that's going to be a neutral body slam, so a big catch for sure. And this allows you to get off this play rough too, which is pretty key.
I also figured at that point, I guess I was one counter away from the body slam, but it would have also meant that he would have to take out the Azumarill while also loading up on enough energy to throw the body slam before I get to mine. So
yes.
Whoa.
Even up the series. Getting a little vengeance to the person that knocked you out Sydney. Let's see if you could get the job done or not in this final game.
Yeah, so I think when it came to choosing teams, I think both games he was ABA weak to Azumarill, I think. Yeah.
Okay, a beautiful lead. Oh, a beautiful backline. I mean, this is looking picture perfect for you so far.
So far.
So far. I think Poliwrath in the back could definitely be a slight problem for your backline for sure, right? That would be like kind of like one of the worst case scenarios. But it does say
that's true. So I mean, when switching in, I was thinking there's the potential for it to be the Lickitung in the back, which is why maybe switching in the Vigoroth would be a bit too obvious. But then, like you said at the beginning, you know, the Vigoroth into Stunfisk match isn't exactly the most clear-cut matchup either.
And I like the Say Swap from AgentMagikarp too because you don't have great counters to this, right? Almost everything has a shield outside this Azumarill, so almost guaranteed to draw out the Azumarill, which... Oh! Throwing again on charge attack priority. Do you shield here? That's going to be a little risky. Big no shields. Alright. No switch advantage either now. Things are looking a little bit funky, not gonna lie. You know, optimizing that ice beam might have not been the best play if you can't get any of the energy off.
I mean, I think if it was a Poliwrath in the back, it would have been pretty doomed.
Yes.
But yeah, I sort of made a call that it wouldn't be and that I wouldn't necessarily need switch in that position. Here, I think once landing the Stone Edge, it probably would have been more comfortable to just come into the Vigoroth at that point.
Yeah, well, why not just double shield the Altaria? Because nothing the Charge Work's going to throw at you is going to be neutral.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's okay. I do offer coaching, Altaria, but I mean, I agree. I mean, I think like at this point too, like how is he going to take out this Clodsire? It's just like, especially because is he locked in? Yeah, he is locked in because he swapped over.
Yeah, he switched out. Yeah.
Oh, this is going with the greedy body slam too.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's too greedy because it feels like any damage is good damage here. So, and I think I don't know if one Stone Edge is like just shy of KOing, but
Yeah.
it just felt like any damage was good damage.
True.
That was a tricky one because I wasn't sure if I could farm down. And then right as I pushed the move, I saw loads of health disappear. And I was like, well, how much damage were my characters? So I didn't really know. I was like, oh, it's doing no damage. Maybe I need to...
No, go for the no shield flex. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's much much of a flex. So it's two shields to two shields.
There's nothing left
actually,
on this side.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I guess more of a case of just gauging
how much it's gonna do.
Yeah, but I guess it doesn't. You know, whether I would need a catch or not. But this does get a bit close because again, with two shields. The Stone Edges are pacing decently, but they're not exactly, fastest, especially compared to the X's.
Yeah. It's a good thing you still have two shields, though. But this is definitely why you want qlOEb overall. And this is looking pretty good for you. It looks like you might be getting that redemption you're looking for. What do you think about the qlOEb after using it this week?
I think it's good, but I think the meta has definitely evolved to be a bit less friendly to it. With Glygars and Polyraths on nearly every team.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna choose, I feel like if you're gonna choose a ground type which is gonna hard check the charge bug, then maybe a Gligar is more comfortable, or maybe a G-Fisk to, I don't know, just, I'm not sure what advantages G-Fisk does have over qlOEb, but
yeah,
I'm sure there are some.
Well, speaking of balanced teams, looks like you look at some wild teams. This ain't balanced in any respect. You got RAYQUAZA and a Chansey. Wait, what is that? Spritzy? What is that's a?
Okay, that's a Spritzy. Yeah.
Isn't that the pre-evolution? Yeah.
So
right?
GurandoKing. So this is Indonesia.
In chat too. So what the heck? What am I looking at here? Break it down. This is nuts.
So okay, from what I saw at the end of the Indonesian preseason, all I saw was a video from GurandoKing of a Chansey taking out 2 Pokemon and sweeping. And I was like, what is this? And he also finished, as you can see, because he's in Division 1, he finished, very high up in the Indonesian bracket, considering that over 60 players took part. So, yeah, to do so using Chansey, I thought was wild. GurandoKing bought Chansey in the first week as well. So obviously a Chansey expert here. And... Bro, I don't know what to tell you.
I need to look up the Spritzy things. I don't even know what moves this thing learns, right? Like
it's a charmer.
It's a charmer. Okay, I don't even know what
CP
it gets to. What is it? This is nuts. Okay, so 14, 15 is the Hundo. I assume you best buddy this. So 14, 32.
Yeah.
It's got Charm, Thunderbolt, Draining Kiss. It has no third move, but I mean it's open team sheet, so no big deal.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, maybe you wanna explain these teams, because I don't know what I can say, man.
So
I don't know any of the matchups.
A question that some people might ask is why Spritzy over the evolution of Aromatisse, right? So Aromatisse, it has the rank 1 has a little bit more stat product, but it's not by much. It's less than 30 difference there. You have a little bit more. You just have more attack on the Aromatisse. You're actually bulkier on the Spritzy, which is kind of nuts.
Okay, interesting.
You have Charm and Charge Beam, so same fast attacks. Yeah, Moonblast, Draining Kiss, Psychic, and Thunderbolt. So honestly, you have the same moves but more. So I don't know. I mean, for the spice, I like it. I respect it. I don't know for the utility if it's really necessary to run that over the evolution or any other charmer for that fact. All right, let's get into this because I'm very excited to see how this turns out. I have no idea how it's going to turn out actually, but here we go. We have ourselves the Shadow Venusaur into a Azumarill. Fantastic lead. I mean,
and just double Mandibuzz counters in the back.
It's got to be a Mandibuzz in the back, right? Because Lickitun's the only other soft check. Everything else just hard loses, unless you're ABA weak to the Venusaur, which there's no way, right? So really great lead call by GurandoKing.
And a shield, early shield on the side of instinctBENDER, but going straight into that Carbink. And I think with this amount of chip, it kind of shores up the matchup for the Carbink, especially being a shield up.
Right.
So I think this is a very comfortable swap.
Yeah, and I like the shield too. I mean, this is just like you're just going to outbulk, especially with that some of that chip damage from the Vine Whip as well too. Shielding the power.
And I imagine you can probably leave with the move here. Chip the Azumarill when it comes back in as well. So
yeah,
definitely a dominant position at the moment.
The Azumarill definitely could get to probably like almost an Ice Beam for the Venusaur later. But I mean, if it's the Mandibuzz like we expect, that Spritzy is going to do some damage. And actually swapping in the Azumarill, leaving with some energy. This is an interesting
I like this because the timers are desynced. The the Carbink doesn't didn't have enough energy at that point because GurandoKing threw straight away, and so now it does have the
bringing the Spritzy. Interesting. I mean, you do have Thunderbolt, and the charm damage is going to definitely add up, but at the same time,
how much does Play Rough do to Spritzy? That's a pretty bulky Pokemon, you know?
Yeah, not a ton. The real question is, can you get to the Thunderbolt in time? I mean, these charms it's just wiggling his way.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen this Pokemon on screen. Like,
this is nuts. Yeah.
It just survives the Play Rough, but doesn't get to a move. So
okay. So Spritzy, short-lived, but was interesting for sure too. I mean, this is not Little Cup. This is Great League, 1500.
Yeah.
However, the Venusaur actually has quite a bit of energy. I think you just get to his friend's plant before the Azumarill. No, maybe going for the Vine Whip down.
Choosing to go for the energy.
Vine Whip down. It's gonna be interesting.
Well, I think if it is the Mandibuzz in the back, GurandoKing is definitely going to have to make it more palatable for that.
It's not though. It's a Superior. Wait, this is actually kind of a wild call because Grundo expecting instinctBENDER to be ABA weak. Oh, and shields no-shields a potential Sludge Bomb. This is actually kind of nuts.
It's a savage call.
Try to catch arrow. He's not able to. Oh, man, this is getting disgusting because this Superior's going to get a ton of energy now. Yeah.
And now I'm wondering, because I have always thought that Aerial Ace might KO from this point, but okay, going for the safe Frenzy Plant.
Yeah. You definitely have to. Looks like
still having a
GurandoKing maybe denied a Vine Whip there, but this Superior has a lot of energy though. I don't know if it actually makes a difference in this. Oh no, it does.
Oh
wow, dude, that no shield on the Superior from instinctBENDER was wild.
Was insane.
Because if you get Sludge Bomb, you just lose, right? You got what, like
Game
a 2
over.
HP like Lickitung in the back. So that was actually kind of nuts.
I think that was such an interesting. I think that was a really interesting team comp in that. Not having, I mean, obviously you only have one hard check to the Venusaur anyway, but really betting on the shield advantage Superior to deal with the Venusaur at the end game if necessary, and that definitely paid off.
Right, and GurandoKing in chat is saying expected him not to bring the Mandibuzz, which is actually a really great call too. It's expecting ABA, and again, really strong into this Azumarill lead.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing in the back.
Dude, I don't even know how it's 14-17. I didn't even know it could hit the CP that low too. That's kind of nuts. Definitely can't power that up anymore. But that being said, that's still quite the rare find. instinctBENDER throwing the Ice Beam first and then chipping. So again, probably ABA weak to this Venusaur. I mean, that Superior is not the worst matchup against Venusaur because you do have to land that Sludge Bomb. But this time around does land the Friend's Plant and has another one.
Yeah, it has too much energy, So
I think
this Lickitung really has to decide to go down shields.
Yeah, or just get taken out. I think you're probably going to shield. Yeah, shield Sis. Maybe I expect the Carping to come out after this. Maybe even tank a Bison first. No, trying to catch a Bison, not able to do it. But I mean, you could just completely rock throw this thing down, and that's going to come out with a lot of energy, and everything's neutral against that Azumarill.
I wanted to say, definitely the Rayquaza. Didn't want to see the Azumarill. Just like good to see it in the lead, but seeing a Rayquaza in general.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, instinctBENDER brings Superior in that first game is kind of nuts. You have a Venusaur on the opposing side of GurandoKing, and you have 2 dragons that resist those moves. So, it's a very gutsy decision to bring the Superior, but it's possible instinctBENDER brought the Superior again based on how he's playing this out. Well, this farm down is going to be kind of nasty at the same time too. Do you get to rock slide? And
yeah,
you
don't really want to.
doesn't get to the rock slide.
Just over tapping slightly. So, and yeah, you don't really want to eat this energy anywhere. But I mean, I guess it does. It is going to take the Azu a bit of time to reach the second Ice Beam.
Okay.
And coming straight with the Surtbutt.
Oh, I like this. Because InstinctBENDER might know
now
shields.
You get some farm.
Oh, no, does shield. Okay, shields it.
Okay.
And then, this is actually Agent Power Rayquaza. So not even, no areas, no. I mean, Dragon Ascent seems kind of like overkill.
Yeah,
right?
you probably would never make it, right?
It, yeah. And throws the Frenzy Blade. That did actually way less damage than I thought it would, even though it's resistant. But like against Rayquaza, I thought that was going to take out like 50% its health. Not even. And here comes the debuffs too.
Yeah, I think in this situation, because it's double resisting the Frenzy Plant, that the Aerial Ace might be the better move.
Possibly. But if you go and get 2 moves off, does it do more damage, right? Energy efficiency is one thing. Oh yeah, I think Aerial Ace is the play. But like, how often do you see Rayquaza, right?
Are we gonna see? Are we gonna see a Rayquaza?
Oh my god!
Taking out a Fairy type.
Dude, this is nuts.
With
what
the
am
ancient
I
power.
right now?
Oh my days!
If you want to Rayquaza for greatly, give him more. I mean, this is not easy acquired by any means.
It is not easy at all. Oh my days!
Wow, evening up the series 1-1. So yeah, we got a game.
We got to see both Spritzy and Rayquaza.
No, we need to see Chansey now. If there's no Chansey, something's wrong, right? We need the trifecta
exactly.
here.
This is the signature Pokemon.
Please tell me the Chansey. Oh, there's a Chansey in the
back.
Yes,
let's go.
It was the same 2 leads and just swapping out the Spice Pokemon in the back every time. I mean, there's no Poliwrath like being brought in, so like why not bring the Chansey, right? And
true,
no Wigglytuff. Chansey's going to be pretty good, even into. Well, I guess Mandibus is kind of neutral. I guess I don't know. I don't know any of the Chansey matchups to be honest.
Yeah. I have no clue how the Chansey matchups go. You know?
But Chansey would have a pretty good matchup into the Lickitung, resisting the lick damage too. So.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah. For me, it makes it difficult to imagine Chansey actually beating anything because it doesn't do any damage. So, I have no scope of what it can beat, even if it's hitting it super effective. You know.
Yeah, looks like GurandoKing is going to double shield this Venusaur. I like to play too, right? Venusaur has so much play, and you got 2 super bulky Pokemon in the back. Like, what do you really need them for?
And you have so much scope to just build up a lot of energy here as well.
This is big. This is this could be a shield KO if InstinctBENDER shields this. Is this going to be shielded? Oh no. Okay.
Oh no shield. Okay.
Big
recognizing that it could potentially be that, or like shield wouldn't be worth it. But coming in with the Wigglytuff and going for a full Charm Down is a bold move.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely going to get it. InstinctBENDER probably has the shields, but shields are completely down now on both sides, and you get a lot of value out of that Venusaur. I like the Carbine coming in with this. Hypothetically, if there's a Poliwrath in the back, right, like you at least have an MG start, and you can throw the Moonblast later, because you really just want to avoid that Chansey on the but
and it is the Poliwrath.
Okay,
it is the Poliwrath. So this is now.
Oh, it's a one-shot Poliwrath. It's not even counter.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So that actually makes it worse for GurandoKing because you're actually getting to the
you get
the relevant damage a lot quicker. Dynamic Punch as well.
Yeah, Dynamic Punch.
But this Moonblast.
Yeah, so he did an Icy Wind. Has Icy Wind and Dynamic Punch. Oh, it is Zen Headbutt Chansey too. And you don't have the counter, so you're not really doing anything, right?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay, how much does a Dynamic Punch do on a Chansey?
Like 10% max, 15%. I'll say 15%. That looked a bit.
It did nothing.
Wait, this thing's not even debuff. That was just like a full-on Dynamic Punch, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this is nuts. Why are people not running Chansey? I don't understand. Dude, this thing, what are you listening to? I mean, maybe Registeel, right?
I don't know.
What? Why would you not run Chansey? That's crazy. Against the top fighter in this meta, and that's all you take?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Psychic does more damage back.
Plus
Oh, what the heck am I looking at?
Flower Crown Best Buddy Chansey going for a Hyper Beam. Is it even going to KO? It KOs! That is a good amount of damage, you know?
What the heck? Well, GurandoKing did not disappoint. You see, not only you see Spritzy, but you also see Rayquaza in Game 2 and Chansey in Game 3, and winning it with the Rayquaza and Chansey in the.
Yeah.
Dude, you need to DM me next week while GurandoKing's running, because like I'm imagining if I'm like about to play GurandoKing the next week, I'm like, you're looking at your team like,
what do I bring?
Am I weak to Chansey? like you're gonna be simming the weirdest stuff all week trying to prepare for this. This is
Oh man.
yeah, that was wild for sure. So thank you all for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. This is week number 2. Hopefully we'll do more of these, but incredible battles, especially that last one, just nuts. All straight 2-1s, 1-2, so really close battles from these APAC players. I'm very curious to see how they take the meta as well as we progress through the weeks. But with that being said, thank you for commentating with me, AnicorXIII, and
thank you, Caleb.
If you want to hear more of us, we have a podcast as well. So if you stop by the Battlecast podcast, I just linked it there. But with that being said, thanks all for tuning in.